As Jamaica prepares to celebrate 60 years of independence, questions this evening about outdated laws and fines that predate 1962. Herman Green has been looking at some of these laws and now joins me in studio in this special In Focus Primetime News report. Herman?
All right, thanks, Janella. Well, of note, first of all, the date of a law does not signify its relevance. So we are not just talking about old laws. We're talking about laws on subjects that are no longer relevant or that quote minuscule fines for breaches. In fact, that's what started our probe, a surprising $100 Jamaican court fine 5 years ago. In 2017, there was public outrage when convicted gang leader Tesha Miller was charged $100 Jamaican under the 1945 Immigration Registration Act after pleading guilty to making a false declaration to Jamaican immigration authorities. His attorney, Bert Samuels, says the amount was so inconsequential that he gave the cash from his pocket to pay the fine. 5 years later, that $100 maximum fine has not been adjusted. Mr. Samuels himself is surprised.
Fines are a form of deterrence. I mean, you go to prison or you pay a fine, both of which are supposed to act as a deterrent. And if they are like ice cream money, if they are like, soda pop money, that's not a deterrent. It's laughable.
It would be laughable if it wasn't an embarrassment on the justice system. In response to that incident, the Gleaner quoted then Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort as saying that a fine of $100 in 2017 makes a mockery of the justice system. Former Central Kingston MP Ronald Thwaites suggested that such fines indicate that legislators and their advisors are sleeping on the job. In the height of the outrage, Mrs. Malahoo Fort promised action, stating that they will have to update the penalties without delay. But as we scroll through the list of laws on the Justice Ministry's website, several offenses still threaten fines as low as $20 Jamaican as maximum penalties. Mr. Samuels pointed specifically to the Towns and Communities Act.
When you look at it, they list a charade, several crimes, and the fine is all $1,000 only. There is a law under the Town and Communities Act for obstructing a police officer, using indecent language, and very often at the same police officer. How can you have a law enforcement officer who is obstructed by a citizen in carrying out what we want them to do? And the fine is a mere $2,000. So what people elect to do is to break the law and then go and pay the fine and laugh at the police when they're leaving the courts.
We also saw some arguably outdated acts among them. The Bicycles Control of Second-Hand Act, which prohibits dealing in the purchase, sale, or exchange of second-hand bicycles and parts, or the repairing of a bicycle without a license under the Act. The Cinematograph Act, which makes it unlawful for a person to conduct or allowed to be presented by means of a mutoscope, cinematograph, or other similar apparatus any exhibition of pictures without the written permission of a cinematograph authority. And the Censorship Press and Postal Act, which allows the Governor General to stop the publication of information on the security forces at any time he deems to be a time of emergency. Members of the public are also peeved about the archaic legislation.
I think so, well, that should be no law. A man buy a bicycle and it broke down for a man and he man fixed up. Oh, if you have license, government give him license. And I think so that law should have really in existence. That come out of the book.
That $100 fine to now, very outdated by far. That should have amended long time. It's very simple. You just revamp the system, just go over it and raise the system over and get it done speedily. It's simple. And that them just need to do that.
The Prime Minister and the opposition should make it in Parliament that these fines go to a more up-tempo beat them, put it up more, put the cost up more.
In addition to the outdated laws, there are some relatively new legislation that one corruption watchdog group, Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, JAMP, believes are just as toothless. In part 2, JAMP's Executive Director, Jeanette Calder, will explain why she believes corrective measures are needed urgently. Herman Green, TVJ News.